Dan, the man, the myth, the legend, welcome to
Thank you.
One for the Road. You are Mr. Highup Transporters.
I am.
And I've been waiting 5 years to meet you.
Yes.
Tell me about it. Highup, how does it...
Good come from bad. A bad accident in this van. Death's door accident.
No way. Okay.
Yeah, long time off work. Really shouldn't be here. Multiple pulmonary embolisms and yeah, bad times. But while I was recuperating, I started Highup. And again, as a bit of a joke, it was, a lifted van amongst a sea of lowered vans. I got a graphic designer friend to make some stickers, and it snowballed from there.
Yeah, it did snowball. What?
It did.
I mean, this is purely on Instagram. Do you
Purely
mean,
on
where you
Instagram,
started?
yeah.
What are you at today? It's
85, I think now,
how cool.
which is unreal.
Yeah.
That started out as a bit of a joke, a play on words of lowdown transporters. And then people started emailing me, where can I get a sticker? Oh, I've got a lifted van, how do I go about lifting it? And it's become a real community, and I've met so many amazing people. I mean, we're here at Coombe Valley, that's all because of it. Met you because of it. It blows my mind.
Nice.
I've had followers crossing borders, people from countries all over the world. Somebody sent me a picture, they had a sticker on their van, they were crossing from one country into another, there was somebody coming the other direction, they took a picture of the Highup sticker on their van, and they sent me, and I'm just like,
It's cool.
Morocco, the States, everywhere.
Yeah,
and
cool.
it's mad, I just can't believe it sometimes.
Because you said it's a play on words. I mean, the transport, or not the transporter, but the VW scene in England, UK, sorry,
Yeah.
is it's unique, isn't it?
Oh, it is, yeah.
But it is mostly it's that classic culture of show and shine and the lowered vehicles.
Absolutely, yeah.
And it's so to raise the bar there,
Yeah.
I mean, was it really unique when you started it then?
There were people doing it, but they weren't, because I came from that scene you're talking about. Everything I'd had has always been lowered. I'd done show and shine, concours, everything. And we wanted a van we could use, because this was lowered on BBS at first, but then it just wasn't practical. We wanted to get away, we wanted to take the bikes. And so I went this route, but there were a lot of people already with lifted vans, but were out using them, weren't doing the show and shine scene, weren't turning up. You'd meet them out on the trails, but you'd never see them at a VW show. So that was quite different. I did get a bit of flack at first for, polishing this up, but yeah, it's cool. There's a lot of people doing it now. I mean, there's still quite a divide where, you don't use your van enough, you don't do this, it's too pretty, but there's a really good scene. I think people are much more accepting of it now, because anything goes in the VW scene, so it's cool. But yeah, I met a lot of people because of that, from both worlds, like Jed and all them who are out in Morocco and all that, really using the vans, and we're not quite as extreme as that, but it's a good thing to be part of. Yeah.
So look, tell me about this. This is cool. I mean, you say it's unique and there's a scene. There's little bits of memorabilia or trinkets like everywhere.
Bits of all sorts. I mean, it was initially make use of every bit of space, because obviously, as you well know, when you're in your van all the time, you quickly run out of space. So we were trying to make use of every spare bit of space.
Yeah.
And then it's the same thing, with like the stickers. You go somewhere and lots of these things.
I like this one, the old sink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some cool ones, but I've peeled the stickers off because obviously this is two-wheel drive, so I've taken the green stickers for the sinker and the locks.
Yeah.
But we go to places like most of the stickers are from events or companies that we've used their products, and then these are places we've gone. Companies have people I know, or products we like, or just have things like that. Mexican one was from a restaurant we were in, and we stole the beer mat, and it's just things that most of them have got memories of places we've been, because it's always Natasha and I in the van, and it's just, it brings a smile to your face sometimes. And when people come and look in at shows or like this, everybody's, no, what's that all about, or and it's cool. It just you know, bike events, car events, everything really.
Yeah.
Places we've been. It's just, I like things like that. It's a bit daft, but you know,
It's your thing.
That's it.
For people who might be listening to the audio only, I mean, your van, you said you've got all these stickers outside, but we're looking at a nice set of patches on the inside that's basically straight onto the carpeting of the van. That's I've not seen that before. I've seen where somebody has done it on the sun visor, but not on the roof. I think that's very cool.
It comes from it's normally American overlanders, and a lot of them do it with like Tacomas, and they all have the cab headlining is made out of a brushed nylon that they stick to, and nearly everywhere in the States, the national parks. This,
patch,
and
is this Velcro on the backs of all of these then? Yeah, cool.
And a lot of the military caps with the Velcro on and for the blood types comes from that kind of thing, and on the backpacks and all the molly, and it tied in with all the molly I'd done on the seats, and it was that's what started it. It was these.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. They're here,
And then you look and so I mean, a lot of the UK ones you have to sew. I sew the Velcro on myself, but if I'm getting any patches or do swaps with people from abroad with other, you know, channels or instas, and we do patch swaps or sticker swaps or merch swaps.
Yeah.
And so these come from all over the place. So it's fantastic.
I mean, it's a no-brainer. We need an Advanture magazine patch.
You absolutely do.
So I hadn't considered it, but literally we're going to go our way and get one now. I love it.
Got to do it, yeah.
I mean, you just brushed upon the seats here. You, by trade, this is what you do, isn't it? Can you tell me a bit about that? That's fascinating.
Yeah, that again came about by accident. I was at university in Winchester, and I didn't get a grant because I was doing a master's degree, so I had to get a part-time job, and I was renting a place from the guy who's now my boss. And I just mentioned in passing to his wife. She said, "Oh, he's never here, he's always busy." And I said, "Oh, what does he do?" And she said, "Oh, he does car interiors." I said, and I've obsessed with cars all my life. I was doing textile design at college, so I know my way around a sewing machine, and I did fabric technology, designed fabrics, made fabrics. And she said, "Oh, have a chat with him." And I got a part-time job there, because, you know, it was a bit of a no-brainer. And never left. Finished college, worked freelance designing for companies all over the place, but I really enjoyed this.
Nice. And this is some of your work here,
yes,
is it?
This is all, this wanted to do, as I say, it's been in here a long time now, but it's standing the test of time, and it also generates a lot of work for me, because people are always quite taken with it, even though the molly thing now has really gone mad, and you see it a lot. When I did this, it wasn't a thing in vans or cars at all. So this was great, and especially when you come across military guys who see it, and the colour doesn't immediately, they don't realise, but then they look and they're like, "That's what we used to have on our body armour," and you know, they're like wild. There's quite a few guys who served who are like, wow, really into that, and they still tend to have a lot of this at home, and so I've had quite a few.
And you just said there that you were at the college down in Winchester, and I love this, such a small world, because that's where I went to university, not the same college, but the same up in Winchester. And it's just like, you know, I live down in Spain now, you guys are here, we're in the south coast of England today, and I just love how that community is borderless. I mean,
it certainly is,
and you've got that really with the Highup Transporters. Absolutely. As you said, it's people around the world, and
it's making contact. I mean, again, and you know, the invites of places people have said, "Oh, you know, next time you're down, call in," and there's so many people we could call on, and even, you know, if you have a breakdown, again, people like Jed, people like Lee, stuck in places like Spain and Portugal and Morocco, and somebody comes out of the woodwork, "Oh, bring it to my place, I'll help you fix it." And I get calls all the time. Guys I know are out travelling, they break down, and they don't know who to call, and then they'll send me a message saying, "Can you post this? I'll put something on Highup."
You can connect them up,
and then somebody will get in touch and say, "Oh, I'm only a mile away, I'll come and help Tom to a unit." Which, that's what I want Highup to be. I want it to be a resource that everybody can tap into. So that everybody can use it. It's not, you know, it started out, like I say, as a bit of fun, but it's become a real community. And we've had some fantastic stories where people's vans have, you know, and they're looking at hundreds, if not thousands, to recover them back to the UK. And they found somebody who's helped them fix it, taken them a drive shaft. It's fantastic. And then I'll get a message saying, oh, thanks, we were stuck in wherever for 4 days at the side of a industrial estate, and somebody drove out, brought us a wheel, brought us a CV joint, and we fixed it, and we're back on the road. And that is worth everything. That's just that just really puts a smile on my face.
Nice.
You know, because it's, you know, nobody's had to do anything, it hasn't cost anybody anything, but you know, it's really done someone a massive favour when you're abroad and you're on your own.
I love that, because like with the magazine that we publish, it's not about the latest vehicle or gears that's coming out. I'm sure we touch upon it, but it's about the stories, and I mean, that's what you've got there. You're connecting people, and it's not just that final, you know, Instagram epic location. It's the trip along the way,
absolutely.
isn't it?
And the people you meet, and it can be anywhere, can't it? You know, you get, like you say, everybody's, it's, I don't know, you've got those set pictures of, you know, all the balloons on Instagram packed up. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I love it all, but, you know, sometimes it's amazing just finding a little out-of-the-way place where nobody's been before, and finding a cool place to eat and hooking up with someone you've never met, and I think that's fantastic. That's what we love. We just like to get out there and, you know, chat to people and check each other's vans out, and you know, it's amazing. We've got an awful lot in common wherever you're from. You know, people dig a cool van, and it doesn't matter whether it's a V-Dub or a Ford or whatever. A cool van's a cool van. But it does, it's great. It really is. It's the amount of fantastic people I've met just from that. As I say, a bad situation, a horrible accident, but it's led to a lot of really good friendships, which, you know, are really good after that. I had really dark times after that accident, and it's, you know, it helped a lot. You know, it's in these sort of times, it was a good thing.
Well, tell me about the van. I mean, I'm not a stranger to this model, but
no, absolutely.
How did this come into your life, and what does it mean to you?
This was... I'd always had VWs. I had a low-light bay window for years, but again, going to uni, no grant or anything, I sold that. Finished my degree in Dundee, sold pretty much everything. Sold my bike at the time, sold my van, and moved down there. And then circumstances, while we were both at uni after we'd met, and then Tasha became pregnant, so I was working freelance at the time. She was still at college, so I had to start getting a job, and, you know, it all got a bit, and so it kept us out of vans for quite a while until we, you know, back on our feet, houses and everything. And we started looking tentatively, and this came up on eBay, and I'm not a massive fan of eBay, but it was too good. It looked too good to be true, so I was like, it wasn't bad money.
And what have we got? It's VW T4.
T4, 2.5 intercooled, which is what I wanted. In my opinion, that's the best engine in these. If you look after them, they'll go on forever. It's an auto as well, which I wasn't looking for.
I didn't know that, okay.
But has proved to be brilliant for what we use this for. You know, you can just get in it and go, and it's, touch wood, it's been absolutely faultless, apart from maintenance. And yeah, we saw it on I believe it was a Thursday night, and I was like, oh man, this is perfect. Nice. Good money, everything we wanted. It was a converted van by Bilbo's, not somebody's homebrew conversion. So it was registered as it was VW approved. It had everything we needed. So I ummed and ahed. But Tasha didn't. Tasha's like, we need to get it, but she didn't say anything to me. She went down the bank and got a loan. Friday, she phoned me at work and said, I've got a loan for that van.
Nice.
I phoned a friend up who's a mechanic, who's the only person who's ever worked on this van since I had it. Shout out to Martin there. He luckily wasn't working that night because they had people lined up all weekend to visit it. So we drove down Friday night, and it was a lovely couple who'd inherited it from their parents. They'd used it summer, serviced it, put it away for the winter. They did the same, and they were upgrading to a custom caravan. So this was going up for sale, but they were vetting people. They wouldn't just sell it to anybody who turned up with money. Yeah. And luckily they liked us. And yeah, we bartered a little bit. I didn't want to insult him because the price he was asking was fair. Okay. But the only problem we found wrong with it was a gearbox oil cooler leak, which is just an O-ring. Where my pal was like, oh, give him this, knock him down. I said, I'm happy with it at that price. I don't want to insult him and say, no, I'm not selling it to you. So I got him, he knocked a bit off to repair the oil leak, and I was happy with that. So we drove it away. The lady was in tears. Sad to see it go, obviously. It had been in their family since new. But yeah, they were lovely. I'm really glad they liked us having it. And yeah, every time we went anywhere, we used to send them a postcard, and we used to send them pictures, and it was perfect.
Yeah.
And then yeah, we knew we were going to make it our own. It was very generic. It was absolutely stock. So as I say, I lowered it and put BBSs on it, and then realised that wasn't where I wanted to go with this. So then it was a whole about turn, and yeah, lift kit, all-terrains, solar, off-grid. I upped it, yeah. And that, yeah, it was, yeah, and it snowballed from there. But it was, yeah, it made it much more usable for us, which is, you know, what we needed, really. It was, and it became a real, I don't know, it was really good for the both of us. Tash had a really stressful job then, managing care homes, and she was working massive hours, and it was really stressful. And this was a real decompression tool. We always keep it packed, apart from food and clothes, and we could literally on a Friday night finish work, get in this, and just go. And she could chill out, and it was great for me. And yeah, it was a real. We'd wanted to do it for years, and it was one thing led to another. We couldn't afford kids, the whole bit. But that's one big regret. We never did it earlier, when our son was young enough to take advantage of the double bed in the roof, and so that's a real shame, because by the time we got this, he would never have come camping with us at his age. But it was, yeah, it's been a good thing for the two of us. So yeah, it's still, and even now, after all this time, we both still get excited to go away when we're packing, and you know, it's fantastic. It's been a good van. It's and I would be devastated to get rid of it, but we would like something bigger. That's the thing. We would like a crafter.
Yeah, I mean, the topic of big van has been, yeah,
one we've talked about this weekend.
My mind, yeah. I mean, we obviously have a T5, a lovely T3, T25 down in Spain, and I mean, the whole ethos of Advanture magazine was, yeah, vans like this that are basically Swiss Army knives.
Yeah, absolutely.
I got to say though, getting into something bigger, I mean, whether that's a crafter or a massive sprinter van, or like the motorhome that we're driving, it's needs, isn't it? Like where we're at, like we're choosing to live as a family and try and work on the road. I use the word try because I'm not getting a lot of work done right now, but you need that space.
You'd never do that really in a T5 for the amount of time you're on the road.
But I think, yeah, I mean, as you know, a solo person or even a couple. I mean, so many people coming down into Europe, like digital nomads, being able to, effectively work from any size, really. Yeah. So it's what you want out of it, isn't it?
That kind of job, you're laughing. It's unfortunately, I haven't got a job I could take on the road.
Yeah.
But it would.
Custom seats along that could be a nice, like, part-time retiree job in Portugal.
Yeah,
or...
big van with the sewing machine in the back.
Yeah, yeah. I could see that. Yeah.
There are people that do it. There are people who come to you and do it, but I'm not sure I could. I like to be in my own space, but yeah, that's the dream. Is a big, medium wheelbase 4Motion crafter, big off-grid setup that we could travel, you know, really get some miles under the belt and get away from it all. That's it doesn't bother me so much, but Tasha would love a bed that's out all the time, and we would like shower toilet. Yeah. If possible. I mean, we've got a cassette loo, which, you know, emergencies really, it's all, you know, well, not emergencies, but, you know, it's, that's what we'd like to do. So that's
it, they're comforts that at some point, I mean, it sounds like you've been doing this for enough time where it's like, you're allowed to have a stand-up shower.
Yeah, why not?
We won't mind if you want a motorhome too. We'll still be Mr. Highup to us.
Don't let my wife get in one, because I think if she did, then we'd be going that route. And but yeah, I think unfortunately, sometimes I think there's that hair shirt mentality where you've got to, if you're not really roughing it, you're not authentic. And, you know, if you were that bad, you'd be walking everywhere with a pack on your back. I mean, it's finding that balance that's right for you between camping and, you know, a full-on massive RV motorhome caravan with every mod con. We don't really want that. We don't have a TV. You know, it's time to, you know, reconnect. We very rarely in the van. We've always got the awning out. We sit outside. We cook outside.
Cool.
And when we're on sites, if we, you know, you sit out, people are walking past, and they're always fascinated because they're there in a motorhome, but we're quite a novelty quite often if we stay on a normal, you know, whatever, campsite. They're looking out, we're cooking outside, and they walk past and we're all wrapped up with our hats on, and they're like, oh, look at them. But they like to come and chat, and, oh, where have you been? What's this all about? And that's what we really love.
Yeah.
It's, you get older couples who've caravan their whole lives, and they love to come and chat, and, oh, where have you been? And we've just been there. And we've had some brilliant tips because even maybe they stay on sites we're not that keen on. They go to the places near the sites, and they'll say, oh, if you go there, we found a fantastic one in Bradford upon Avon. They had a market where people in barges come from all over the country and set up a market on the side of the canal.
No way.
And they'd pass through on the way, and we'd met them at a Bath campsite, and they said, oh, you should go, it's on. We rocked up, it was fantastic, all these people living in barges, making food and crafts, clothes, wooden tools. Oh, amazing.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic.
We went down
yeah,
there,
I'll
guys.
have to deep dive on that.
Yeah, and I've started following them on Instagram. It's something like the Independent Barge Traders Association. And so we have a look, see if there's anyone, you know, local, because there's quite a few, you know, canals running about where we are, and you can rock along. They've got a Sunday market, and it's brilliant.
I love that, because it's like these subcultures, whether it's like you say barges or camper vanners or whatever you're into, like they're all out there, aren't they? And still thriving.
Yeah, bike packers, everything. That's what, you know, a lot of these are, because I've been into mountain bikes for donkey's years, and gravel bikes and fat bikes and adventure bikes, and, you know, you meet up with people and, you know, they see your bike on the back. The amount of times somebody stopped me and said, oh, you know, you've got a fat bike, you know, what sandy place or snowy place if you're taking it to, and it's amazing how and then, you know, they'll say, oh, we went here, and you know, it's just that little, oh, this is a fantastic place to ride, you know, because everybody's going to Morzine or, you know, to all the same places, whereas somebody will just say, oh, we go here every year, there's nobody there, fantastic riding, just have things like that, people we meet. Like, you know, and again, the people on the barges, oh, we've just come from so and so, there's a campsite right next to the canal. So I think, oh, that goes in our little... Tasha's got a journal she takes everywhere, writes them down. I normally take a picture of something on my phone, save it into a folder of places we want to visit, or campsites we want to stay at, or wild camp spots. You know, people will just give us map coordinates.
Yeah, and it sounds so nice as well, because obviously you've got such a thing going on with social media. I mean, as somebody with Instagram following, like, do you have any opinions or worries, or do you think social media is like in a great place right now? Like, what's your thoughts as somebody behind one of those type of accounts?
I think I'd hate to have young children now. Luckily, as I say, my son's grown up. That would be a real worry with social media. I think it can be amazing. I love tech. I love all that, but I think in the wrong hands and the way some people are, people feel invincible sat at home. Whereas I think we don't get too much bad because we're out there and meeting people. You're not just, you know, you're not a keyboard warrior sat there. And I try to police my content to an extent. If we get anybody on there, I'm of the opinion, you know, everybody should, it's positive vibes. I also remember seeing it, a guy from the VW scene who's been into it for years, has now got a synchro. He runs a thing called Garage Midnight, and he used to have sun strips that said positive vibes. And I also remember seeing it, and it really stuck with me. And when I started with the Highup, I put positive vibes only on the bottom of my header because I didn't want anybody coming on. I don't want anybody slagging anybody else's van off, or, you know, we're all out there using them. It doesn't matter how you use it. You don't have to be, you know, driving around the Sahara. If you want to just go down the road to a local campsite. That's, you know, that's not.
Sounds cool.
It's the, you know, and I didn't want somebody. Oh, you know, it's a 2-wheel drive. Oh, it's the wrong colour. You've got the wrong wheels. I thought there's none of that going on. So if anybody comes on, I'll normally say, look, there's none of that. We don't.
It's not the place.
No. And if they keep on, I always delete the comments. If the comments just gone. Don't like to get rid of people, you know, because we've all done it. You've had a bad day, and it's easy to. The amount of times now I make a real effort to read back what I've written before I post it, because the strangest little thing, in your head it sounds fine, but when you read it back it can sound quite off, and it's easy to take things the wrong way online.
When it's just text, because I don't know how you speak.
No, exactly.
How you you know, deliver your words. Yeah, it's very difficult.
I'm bad, obviously, being a Yorkshireman, I'm very direct, and I do say, and then sometimes I read it back and think, oh, that's a bit. I mean, people who know me, they're all like, oh, he just says what he wants down, but it's, and so I have to make a real conscious effort to, and I try to keep that in check. And if anybody, you know, it starts getting out of hand, you know, they're gone pretty much. But as a whole, we've had so few bad experiences on there. Everybody we've met, and you know, we haven't had anybody posturing on there or giving it, you know, that I'm the big man business. And people seem lovely, and we've met them, and you know, and so it's great. I'm really, but the whole other side of, you know, being a young person being on there now must be a real
scary
challenge
place.
sometimes. I just think I love it and it works for me, but you know, I'm quite capable of being out there and looking after myself kind of thing, whereas, you know, the kind of things that go on, it's horrible now, I think, sometimes.
Well, I mean, to be honest, I went to one VW show. I got taken when I was about 15, maybe younger. I've not been to any meetups. I mean, literally just parking up outside at Coombe Valley Campers. It's an industrial estate in southern England. But what a vibe. I mean, we had the campfire out, everyone's chill.
Fantastic.
Everybody got along so... Like, just wow, it's just fun. It
is, and it's an icebreaker because we've all got something in common. So you know, you might turn up at something where you don't know people, be a party, and everybody's a bit, but we all know we've got something in common. So whatever backgrounds we're from, we've all got something to talk about, and you know, we're all a bit obsessed about these things, so everybody's exactly. That's it. It's a running joke with friends of my wife and everybody I know that I think all guys that are into these things are somewhere on a spectrum. Just depends where you are on that spectrum of how, and we're all like that. I think men have definitely become obsessed with things. And it's fantastic. Like I say, we're all chatting last night. Everybody's like, oh, what lights have you got? What fridge? What solar setup?
It's funny, isn't it?
I mean, my solar's been playing up. They come out and had a look. Warren's managed to fathom out what it was, so now solar's all back up and running, and you know, it's brilliant. And you know, we've all got our different skill sets. And I'm down, so Lee, what can I do about my heater? And you know, and he's like, well, I'll do this, and I need my seats doing, and we'll do this. And Warren's just advising me on lights, and I love that. It's brilliant.
It was a mix of beers, some burgers, some power tools, and whatever wood we could find to heat up, because it got cold, didn't it?
It does.
Right, well, I'm going to have to pack up our motorhome. We're off to the next stop.
Cool.
We're going to have a look around England, but honestly, it was so cool to be able to meet you finally.
Absolutely.
We've been chatting for so long, and it feels like, again, just so easy just to bump into someone new and
very cool. Thank you.
Cheers, Dan.